Have you ever wanted to create a professional-looking flyer but just didn't know where to even begin? Well, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're going to build a flyer from scratch in Adobe InDesign, step by step. I'm going to get you from a totally blank page to a finished design you can really be proud of.
So, are you ready for this? We are about to go from a blank screen to a complete, shareable flyer. And trust me, it's way easier than you probably think. Let's build it together.
First things first, every single great design starts with a solid foundation. And in InDesign, that means setting up your document correctly. This initial step makes sure that everything you do from this point on looks polished and professional.
Okay, to get started, all we have to do is go to the top menu. Just click File, then New, and finally select Document. That's going to pop open the New Document window, and that's where we'll plug in all our settings.
Now, these settings are what get our file ready for prime time. We're using a standard letter size with a half-inch margin, to keep things looking clean. But honestly, the most important setting here is the bleed. That tiny extra margin is a pro-level trick, and it guarantees that any color that goes to the very edge won't have an ugly white border after it gets printed. And since we're just making a single page, we'll turn facing pages off.
Once you've got those settings plugged in, just go ahead and hit that big Create button, and there you go. Your blank canvas is officially set up and ready for you to get creative.
All right, with our canvas ready, it's time to set the stage. The background is the very first visual thing we're going to add, and it's going to set the whole mood for our flyer.
And to do this, we're going to use the rectangle tool, which you could find over in the toolbar. Pro tip, you can also just hit the letter M on your keyboard to grab it. This tool is absolutely perfect for creating simple, solid color backgrounds.
So, with the rectangle tool selected, just click and drag a box that covers the whole page, from one corner all the way to the other. Then, to give it some color, we'll open up the Swatches panel from the window menu up top. Find a color you like, give it a click, and boom, your background is instantly filled. So our stage is set, but now it's time for the most important part, the actual information. In this section, we'll cover how to add a big, bold title and all the essential details for your event. For all this, we're going to need the Type tool. You can find it in the toolbar, or, you guessed it, just press T on your keyboard. This is going to be your best friend for creating any and all text on your page.
Okay, with the Type tool active, click and drag a text box right where you want your title to go. Type it in, and then you can use the character panel to really make it pop. This is where you'll change the font, bump up the size, and pick a color that stands out against that background. And the best part? Because this is InDesign, your text will always stay perfectly sharp no matter how big you make it, which is exactly what you need for a high-quality print.
Once that title is looking good, it's basically rinse and repeat. Just create some new, smaller text boxes for all those essential details. The date, time, location, and contact info. The goal for this text is super simple. Just keep it clear and really easy to read. All right, our flyer has a background and it's got text, but let's be honest, visuals are what really grab people's attention. So now we're going to add some images and maybe a few decorative shapes to really bring this design to life.
Now listen up, because here's something that trips up almost every beginner. The difference between two very similar-looking tools. The rectangle frame tool, the one with the X in the middle, is made specifically to hold images. The regular rectangle tool is just for colored shapes. An easy way to remember it, X marks the spot for your photos. So to place an image, just grab that rectangle frame tool, draw your box, and with it still selected, go to File, then Place. Now your image might not fit perfectly at first, but don't worry, there's a super easy fix. Just go up to the Object menu, select Fitting, and choose Fill Frame Proportionally. And boom, InDesign automatically resizes it for you.
We have officially built our flyer from the ground up. We've got a background, we've got our text, and we've got our images. The creative part is done, which means it's time for the final and very important step, saving our work so we can actually share it with the world.
But before we do that, let's just do a quick final check. Does your flyer have a main title? Yep. A background? Check. At least one image and all the event details? Got 'em? Maybe a cool decorative shape or two? If you can tick all those boxes, you are ready to go.
Okay, it's time to save, and this is so important. There are two key files we need to create. First up is the editable project file. Think of this as your master copy, the one you'll come back to if you ever need to make changes. To do this, you're just going to go to File, then Save As. Give your file a clear name. Make sure the format is set to InDesign Document, and hit Save. This saves all your hard work.
Next, we need to export the final shareable version. This is what creates a PDF, a universal file that literally anyone can open and print, even if they don't have InDesign. For this one, you'll go to File, then Export. Choose Adobe PDF Print as the format, hit Save, and when the next window pops up with a whole bunch of options, don't worry, you can just click Export. The default settings are perfect for what we're doing.
And that's really the key takeaway here. When you're all done, you should have two different files, your editable InDesign document and your final shareable PDF, one to keep for yourself and one to send out to the world. And with that, you have done it. From a totally blank document to a fully designed and exported flyer. You followed all the steps and you created something from nothing. Seriously, congratulations.
You now have all the fundamental skills you need to create a one-page design in Adobe InDesign. So the only real question left is, what are you going to design next? The possibilities are absolutely endless. Thanks for following along with me.